Well, hello, my internet trivia junkies. Welcome to Useless Information, the podcast where we dig into fascinating facts that just might seem trivial, but surely will entertain and enlighten you. I'm your host, Michelle, and in today's episode, we're going to be going into the captivating history of Hollywood, the iconic hub of the entertainment industry, and its impact on society. From its humble beginnings to becoming the glitzy land of dreams, Hollywood has an awe-inspiring, surprising story. But before we get into it, let's get a word from our sponsor first.
Do you want to know what happened at Maryland State University? It's a gripping story that will take your breath away. If you're looking for something to read, look no further than What Happened at Maryland State University, released via paperback and hardback and an ebook. It is an intensely raw and gripping novel by Michelle Carey. When four unlikely college students fight the dark source for the first time on Halloween night, they realize their families have been battling it for generations. What Happened at Maryland State University is an epic tale of magic, gamesmanship, and bravery. This is the perfect book for anyone looking to enter the new world of young adult fiction. Fighting evil has never been so fun. With so much at stake, there is no time to lose. Buy What Happened at Maryland State University today at these retailers: Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, Google Play Books, and Kobo. And coming in soon from the Michelle Carey website at www.michellescarey.com. This ad is sponsored by Sunray Multimedia.
Before diving into what we know of Hollywood today, let's take a step back in time. In the late 19th century, we saw the rise of the motion picture industry, with pioneers like Thomas Edison introducing to the world moving images. It wasn't long before Hollywood emerged as the burgeoning field's epicenter. Our story begins in the late 20th century, when Hollywood was just a tiny agricultural community outside of Los Angeles. The mild climate and diverse landscapes provided the perfect backdrop for filmmakers seeking varied settings for their productions. In 1911, filmmaker David Horsley established the first movie studio in Hollywood, named the Nestor Motion Picture Company. This marked the beginning of Hollywood's transformation into the motion picture capital of the world. Originally known as Hollywoodland, the Hollywoodland sign was built in 1923 by Los Angeles Times publisher Harry Chandler as a part of a marketing campaign for real estate development he was backing in the hills above Hollywood. The sign was built of giant letters, each 50 feet tall and 30 feet wide, costing about $21,000. That is quite a sum for that time. Little did anyone know that this 50-foot-long tall sign would become an iconic symbol of the city and the entertainment industry. As the 1920s rolled in, Hollywood's film industry flourished, and the golden age of Hollywood was born. The golden age of Hollywood from the late 1920s to the early 1960s was marked by immense growth and transformation in the American film industry. As the era of silent films gave way to the advent of talkies, the studio system dominated, churning out scores of films each year that captivated global audiences. Unforgettable stars such as Clark Gable, Katharine Hepburn, Humphrey Bogart, and Marilyn Monroe graced the silver screens, creating indelible impressions and setting the benchmark for cinematic excellence. This gave birth to classic films like Gone in the Wind, Casablanca, and The Wizard of Oz, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire the realm of cinemas to this day. The golden age of Hollywood was just not a time of glittering stars and box office hits, but also a watershed era that defined the timeless allure of cinema, shaping the contours of storytelling, acting, and filmmaking for generations to come. During this period, Hollywood adopted the studio system, where significant studios held almost complete control over the filmmaking process, from production to distribution. The significant studios during this era were Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM, Warner Brothers, Paramount Pictures, 20th Century Fox, and RKO. There were three minor but significant studios included: Universal Pictures, Columbia Pictures, and United Artists. These studios were fully integrated corporations with production, distribution, and exhibition divisions. They also owned theater chains, which guaranteed an outlet for their films. Some of the main characteristics of the Hollywood studio system was: one, contractual talent. In the studio system, actors, directors, producers, and writers were typically under contract with a specific studio. This meant that they would work exclusively for the studio, often for years at a time. The studio decided which movies that they would work on and controlled many aspects of their public image. We also have the genre and formula films. The studios often relied on specific genres or formulas for their films, creating similar types of movies that had proven successful. For example, MGM was known for musicals, while Warner Brothers specialized in crime dramas. In-house production. Most of the work of making a film, from writing to post-production, was done in-house. Studios owned sound stages, backlots, sets, and costume and prop departments. This allowed them to control the entire production process. The studios controlled not only the production of the films, but their distribution and exhibition. Studios owned networks of the theaters where they could guarantee their movies would be shown, helping them to control cost and revenue. We also have the star system. Studios carefully crafted the public images of their actors, shaping them into glamorous, larger-than-life figures. Studios signed actors to exclusive contracts, effectively tying them to a particular studio for an extended period. The practice allowed studios to capitalize on the popularity of their stars, cast them in multiple films, often tailoring their roles to suit their public personas. While the studio system brought about the production of numerous classic films, it also limited creative freedom for filmmakers. Directors and writers often found themselves restricted by the studio's desires and commercial considerations. Many directors struggled to realize their artistic vision, leading to conflicts with studio executives. As the studio system grew in power, concerns over monopolistic practices and antitrust issues arose. In 1948, the United States Supreme Court ruled against the studios in the landmark case United States versus Paramount Pictures et al. This decision, known as the Paramount Decree, forced the major studios to divest their theater chains, which had previously been used to control film exhibitions and stifle competition. The post-World War II era witnessed the gradual decline of the studio system. The advent of television posed a significant threat to the film industry, leading to declining theater attendance. Additionally, the taste of the audience began to change, and the demand for some realistic and more socially relevant films challenged the conventional studio formula. As the studio system weakened, a new wave of independent filmmakers emerged, seeking creative freedom and experimentation. These directors often worked outside of the studio system, producing films that pushed boundaries and addressed contemporary issues. Despite this eventual decline, the studio system legacy continues to influence Hollywood and the global film industry. Many aspects of modern filmmaking, such as contracts, star promotion, and marketing strategies, can be traced back to the early studio era. The blockbuster era in Hollywood, which began around in the late 1970s, extended into the 1980s and beyond, is the significant chapter in the history of cinema. The period was characterized by the rise of high-concept, visually spectacular, and commercially successful films that captivated global audience and forever changed the landscape of the film industry. Blockbusters originally referred to explosive bombs, and during World War II, it came to describe the films that achieved extraordinary commercial success and had a profound cultural impact on cinema. The advent of the blockbuster films can be attributed to several factors, including advancements in filmmaking technology, strategic marketing, and a shift in audience preferences. The marketing strategies employed during the blockbuster era were groundbreaking. Studios started promoting films months before their release, generating audience buzz and anticipation. Tie-in merchandise such as action figures, clothing, and toys became an integral part to the marketing campaign and extended the film's impact beyond the screen. Blockbuster films also gave birth to the concept of film franchises, where successful films spawned sequels, prequels, spin offs, and reboots. Iconic franchises like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, and Batman set the stage for a new era of cinematic storytelling and brand building. The impact of blockbuster films on popular culture cannot be overstated. These movies became touchstones for generations, inspiring fan communities and becoming ingrained in the collective consciousness of society. Blockbusters also influenced fashion, music, even language, with catchphrases and memorable quotes becoming part of everyday conversations. As the popularity of blockbuster films soared, Hollywood developed a formula that created successful movies. The formula often included charismatic heroes, epic battles between good and evil, cutting edge visual effects, and heart pounding soundtracks. While the formula led to many beloved films, it also led to criticisms of predictability and lack of originality. The blockbuster era marked a shift towards a more global film market. Hollywood films found a massive audience outside of the United States. The international box office numbers playing a crucial role in a film's overall success. This global appeal expanded Hollywood's reach and influence, cementing its position as the dominant force in the international film industry. While the blockbuster era eventually gave way to new trends and filmmaking styles. It's legendary and it remains evident in contemporary cinema. Hollywood continues to produce blockbuster franchises. The formula for creating successful commercial films continues to be refined. In recent years, the concept of blockbuster has evolved. With the rise of digital technology and the streaming platforms, films can reach a global audience without traditional theatrical releases, big budget productions. And big budget productions and special effects remain essential. But similar independent films have also found success in the digital age. The impact of Hollywood and the entertainment industry on society, shaping cultural norms, influencing public opinion, and contributing to social and economic changes. Here are some of the key ways in which Hollywood and the entertainment industry has influenced society. Cultural influence, social awareness, global reach, economic impact, role models and representation, technological advancements, political influence, escapism and catharticism, fashion and lifestyle trends, intellectual property and merchandising. But even with all of those things in terms of how Hollywood has influenced society, there are cons of the impact of Hollywood on society. There are unrealistic beauty standards. Hollywood's emphasis on physical appearance can promote unrealistic beauty standards, leading to body image issues and self-esteem problems among audiences. We also have a lack of diversity and representation. The industry has faced criticism for underrepresenting or misrepresenting certain communities, perpetuating stereotypes and marginalizing diverse identities. Violence. The portrayal of violence in Hollywood productions can desensitize audiences to real-world violence, leading to potential psychological effects. Consumerism and materialism. The commercialization of Hollywood can fuel consumer culture, leading to excessive consumption and materialistic values. Political influence and manipulation. The entertainment industry's political themes and messaging can sway public opinion and manipulate viewers' perceptions of current events. Impact on local cultures. Hollywood's global reach and dominance may overshadow or dilute local cultures and indigenous storytelling traditions. It is essential to recognize both the positive and negative aspects of Hollywood's impact on society over time. But we also must encourage responsible and inclusive storytelling that promotes diverse voices and represents the wide range of perspectives. As viewers, we, being the critical media consumers, we can help navigate the potential pitfalls and appreciate the entertainment industry's positive contributions, especially now with the writer's strike and the actor's strike. But we're going to see where that goes. But that's it for this episode of the Useless Information Podcast. I'm Michelle Carey, your guide to the world's most intriguing, bizarre, and yes, useless information. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, sometimes the most useless information can be the most interesting. And if you like what you're hearing in the Useless Information podcast, please take the time to hit that follow or subscribe button so you're kept up to date when another episode goes live. And if you like what you're hearing, do me a big favor. Leave a review if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever major podcast platform you're on. And if you're listening to this on YouTube or Rumble, please like and subscribe. Your follow, subscribe, and or review lets the podcast guys know. Hell yeah, I'm picking up what Michelle is putting down. I've also expanded this podcast to Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Michelle S. Carey. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you next time for more fascinating and seamlessly useless information. But as always, I'm grateful for your listenership, and thank you for being a part of the Useless Information crew. Today and always, until next time, be well, stay safe, and give love.
This podcast has been produced by Sunray Multimedia and Michelle Carey. Music by CreatorMix.com. The YouTube audio library and editing by Descript.